Okay, so a friend of mine wanted me to do a planner run through of what I do. Most of this will be a repeat, but this is what I'm doing for this year. There's a couple updated things, so just follow along if you want to see what we're using. This binder over here is my main hub of my planner. It has pretty much everything in it that I need with folders and makes it so it's super customizable. Over here is my actual planner. However, it's not a planner where I'm going to be planning like a traditional planner. It is just lined with this nice little to-do list area on the side. I am going to use this to plan from behind. This is an Erin Condren notebook. I paid a fortune for it for a notebook, but I love it, and it's a strong coil. I can change the cover if I want to, and you saw in here the dashboard. I purchased this. I'm not sure what I'll use it for besides bookmark. Right now it's just to do things that I needed to do before we started school. So that's my planning from behind. This will be where I jot down what we actually have completed and what I'm kind of my goals for the week and the month. So that's what's going to be in this binder or this book. Over here is, like I said, my main hub. In the front here you see some of my planning stuff that I had going on through the Homeschool Alliance with Julie Bogart. I'm still working through, so that's just in the front just because I'm working on it. My first page is always a calendar, an academic calendar that's printed on cardstock, so it's easier to flip through and it doesn't get ruined. I also, on this academic calendar, I have all of our days that we will be off, or tentatively off, and when we're starting. So you can see the 19th, and in May we'll be done around the 15th, give or take a few days. I have paint on my hand. So anyways, that's just kind of like my rundown, so that way I can always kind of keep a glance at where we're at in our year. Sometimes I've also kept track of our attendance days of when we're actually doing school. I don't have to for my state. I just enjoy kind of seeing how many days we actually did school. It's kind of just something fun I like to do. But I don't always do it. I've only done it a couple of years. This is just a little sheet that I tucked in here because we were reading through the book of Holes, and I've been keeping track of where we are, and I gave myself kind of a planned thing so I could finish it by the day that we're going to go see the movie. The next few sheets I have in sheet protectors just because they're sheets that I'll be working from. And so this one is from Read Aloud Revival. I'm part of the premium membership on there, and this is just the upcoming calendars that are coming out. So it's just telling us some of the information. It's just a nice reference guide. Then you'll see the rest of this stuff is what I planned through Pam Barnhill's Plan Your Year. So again, these are in sheet protectors. Here's our rule of 6. These questions are from Sarah Mackenzie. Some questions, open-ended questions you can ask your children when you're reading stories to them, just to help them comprehend, different comprehension questions. Then we get to my homeschool vision. And I actually plan on maybe printing this and putting it on or inside of a frame or something, just to remind myself, and putting it in our school area. Then we get into our grid of what classes and things I plan to do this school year and when. So my terms, and these are also part of Pam Barnhill's Plan Your Year. So these are what I've come up with. Actually, I've added a couple of things and changed some things, so I need to actually reprint them before we get started for the school year. So after that, you'll see my procedure list for the classes that don't come with a plan per se. This is so I can make it open and go. Here's just something fun that was given to us at a convention. Just some terms to remember to help your child work through different math things so they can learn how to do those. And then some more things from that. Then I have all of these are tabbed folders. So in this one it is planning materials, just different things that I need towards planning. And then I have my writing curriculum section. So in here I'll have my arrow for Brave Writer. And I realize some of you don't have these kinds of subjects and you just do a plain planner, and that's fine. This is just how I make it customizable for me. So right here, these are the things that I want to make sure that I'm doing monthly, so that I can go through and say, okay, have we done something like this in the last month? And I can kind of check it off as we go and see how I'm doing to keep up. Here's the projects I've chosen to do for this school year. Over here I have my Arrow book guide list. These are all of the read alouds, the main chapter books that we will be reading, among other ones that I'm sure we'll pick out, but these ones have Arrow guides to go with them. This is my first Arrow guide that we'll be doing for this school year. And then you can see I have a tab and then another tab showing the guidelines for the Arrow. And I'm also going to, once they're released, put in here my planning sheets that will come, or the schedules that will come from the Arrow that'll be updated. So I'll put those in there too. Next is my folder for Emery. This is just anything that I'm keeping track of for her. So in here you can see she's been working through Gamma. This is just her little, the only thing I ever grade is math, and this is just her little math grade sheet so I can keep track of where she is. And on the back it has Delta, since that's the next one she's going into. And then in the back are some math worksheets, just basically any sheets that pertain to her that I need to be aware of. Then Aubrey, I probably would have done Liam next, but because the folder was purple, I made Aubrey next, and it's the same thing. Behind her folder is her language arts curriculum, and we use Sunlight very loosely. So until she gets to reading well, and I know I can kind of branch away from this, then she'll move into the Brave Writer program. But until then, I'm probably just going to finish up with Sunlight since we've been working with it. And then we get to Liam's folder. Liam's folder has his reading list through the books that I'm going to have him read. And then, of course, the math rundown for Delta. Back here, I have history. So there's a map in here. And then, of course, any loose papers that I would need. And behind that is actually our history curriculum. We use Sunlight loosely. Again, I just kind of pick and choose what we're going to do, and we go through the lessons. And then my science folder, which we're just doing nature study this year, so there's not really going to be anything in here but things if I see them. And next on the list is our cooking class that we're going to be taking, which this is an excellent class. I'm really excited for them to take it. They will each be able to learn how to cook and at their own level, and they're going to learn how to do different things. It'll be fun. Back here is our music lesson plan when we get to music. I have these broken up into terms. So this is one of the terms they'll do. They'll have music. Here's my lesson plans for that. And then we're going to do art this year. And there's lesson plans. And then in the back, I just have another one of these tabbed folders. And these mostly are notes that I've taken from books and little things that I have picked up from conferences that are important to me to keep in, contact with something. And then these little cards are things my kids have wrote me or people have sent me, just kind of commending what I'm doing and whatever. Then back here I just have some loose leaf paper and these little, these little stickers. They're not really anything. I've just stuck them in there. So anyways, that is how I work my planner. This is what I will use for the majority of the year, and this is what I will write my lesson plans in. So I think it's really important that you come up with a system that works well. I know a lot of people, they deal with, I don't think I can turn this around because I'm recording, or else I turn around so you can see me. But anyways, I think it's really important for you to pick out something that's going to work and do well for your particular interests. I've went through so many planners, and you just want to customize them, but they're so expensive, and half the time they put things in that you don't even need anyways, or you don't really care about in your homeschool. So I feel like it's a waste of money. This is kind of where I've ended up through all of that, and I think it's a great start. I'm sure I'll change it again. I typically tweak it every year. I have since I've started. So anyways, that is what we will be using, and that is all. Thank you. We'll see you, and make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if you have any comments about what we're doing or any questions, and I will see you next time.